this school. And so to join you all and to be with Dr. Lerner is really special to me. I want to really dig into some questions that I prepared for Dr. Lerner to learn more about Alzheimer's and its connection to this piece that we're going to experience. But I thought maybe I could take 3 minutes of time to introduce Opera Philadelphia and just a brief history of the piece. I first connected with Tiana about 6 months ago because I knew that there was a vibrant Philadelphia community of alumni. And we reconnected because she knew that the rich community existed, and it's clear in attendance today. But this is a great opportunity for us to share one of Opera Philadelphia's new works. There's a lot of opera companies out there, but Opera Philadelphia is the company that's leading the development of new opera and new stories. And today's performance of Sky on Swings is an example of that. And we're pleased to be able to offer this to you and extend it all the way throughout August. So if you'd like to rewatch the piece as well, it will be available for you to do that. Sky on Swings is a 90-minute opera with a cast of 8. That's not big for opera, and that's okay. Sky on Swings tells a familial story that's centered around 2 widows and their children, individual children. 2 widows that are coming to terms with their diagnosis with Alzheimer's. One character, Martha, is in her 70s, and she is cared for closely by her daughter, Winnie, who's been recently divorced. Martha is more in an advanced stage of Alzheimer's, and unrelated, a second family is Danny, the widow Danny in her mid-60s, who's at a very early stage of her knowledge that she has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And alongside Danny is her son, Ira. This opera premiered in 2018, and it took 7 years to get from creation, from start to finish. And with a creative team of 3, led by composer Lembit Beecher, librettist Hannah Moskovich, and director Joanna Settle, they've brought this 90-minute piece of theater, this piece of opera, to stage in a very poignant, fitting way. And at the heart of the opera, while we have these characters, 2 central characters, women with Alzheimer's, the piece tries to ask a question, and that is there grace in memory loss? And so I'll plant that question to you one more time. Is there grace in memory loss? Maybe with that introduction, I want to turn it over to Dr. Lerner and to give you an opportunity. This piece speaks to Alzheimer's. It's interesting to gather together in a pandemic to speak about an epidemic, but that's in some way what we're doing. But I'd love to hear from you, Dr. Lerner, about the idea of Alzheimer's and how you've seen that change. And you're on mute, so we will just need to unmute Dr. Lerner. There we go.
Better?
Yep.
There you go. Okay.
Welcome.
Well, thank you. And it's such a pleasure to be here and meet this very diverse crowd. And I wish we were all together in Philadelphia enjoying an opera. Alzheimer's disease there was an epidemic before COVID. In fact, there were 2 that have sort of been kicked off the national consciousness. There was the opiate epidemic, killing 40,000 or 50,000 people a year for 10, 15 years. And then there was the Alzheimer's epidemic, which is really a function of changing demographics. But the disease, diseases are social constructions. And Alzheimer's disease, when I started, you didn't know you had it. We couldn't tell you had it because we couldn't diagnose it until you were dead. And, the question was nursing home and no nursing home. And it got a pretty fearsome reputation for that, some of which was purposely done, apparently, to raise awareness in Congress and funding at the National Institutes of Health. Alzheimer's has been a favorite topic of art, and I'll come back to that subject. But we really have now have what I would call the new Alzheimer's disease, and this is really focuses on early diagnosis. The importance in every other disease that we know of, early diagnosis leads to better outcomes. You know, we don't wait till you're in an ICU to treat your urinary tract infection. We don't wait till there's pink froth in your fluid congestive heart failure to treat your heart failure. We don't wait for the cherry-sized tumor to become the lemon or grapefruit-sized tumor before we treat it. You know, so although there are issues, and some of that it comes out here about the issue of denial, in the opera, you know, it's really changed. So we have the rise, as in many conditions, of what we call biomarkers, which are proteins or other ways or other readouts, lab tests, possibly even speech itself, that can help us in diagnosing Alzheimer's disease while people are living. We also have learned that the disease process starts about 20 years prior to any symptoms, which is really an opportunity, again, to intervene early, and we can now recognize who is at much higher risk, so that risk is not uniform. So yeah, there's the new Alzheimer's disease, and you know, I'm going to take this on very important. Why is Alzheimer's a bad disease? And I think that because it strikes at the very essence of who you are. Not to say you're just what you memorize, your memories, but your memories are really important. You know, if I had a pill that could, you know, wipe away, let's say if you were a Holocaust survivor, you know, would they take that pill? You know, it's who they are. It's part of their, you know, many of them are in their 90s now, but it's who they've become. It's their part of their identity. I'm not sure that we should want to take it away or that they would want it taken away. So Alzheimer's disease has this profound aspect to it. Now, can Alzheimer's disease make you a better person? There certainly are people who find the grace and become nicer. They may have been crotchety and become sort of a more mellow person. You know, can brain disease make you better? Hollywood has been there with the film regarding Henry, about a lawyer who gets shot in the head, basically gets a frontal lobotomy and becomes a nicer person. So, you know, art and life are intertwined here, and I'll just take it from Stephen now.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, we in this opera will see Danny and Martha struggle with the realization of who they are and the fact that this is the unknowns that await them as they experience this disease. Something that I was struck to find is the 5 million Americans are diagnosed with Alzheimer's. That these characters, Danny and Martha, are coming to terms at different stages with who they are. So when they come together, Danny and Martha, their lives will cross in a nursing home. And it's in this nursing home that a relationship is born, and they are able to lean on each other in a certain way. And that's kind of how I'll leave it there. What is your reaction, having now you seen the piece, Dr. Lerner, to the question, is there grace in memory loss?
I think there can be. I think that it changes your experience, but we have to honor that.
Yeah.
And people may do things that they might not have thought they were capable of. You know, and who gets to decide, you know, what's normal? That's a very interesting question in and of itself. That almost encapsulates my entire career, is defining what's, you know, we say, I don't want to be the mind police. You know, I might not do it, but what's wrong with it, and who gets to decide? And these are people acting as adults, as my colleague Jason Karlowicz, who did one of the YouTube videos associated with this production. It's and I think that the reaction of Ira and Winnie to their mother's problems is actually very interesting and actually quite enlightened, in that they allow it to grow organically and don't. In reality, this is a heavily emotionally fraught issue in nursing homes, in particular. Sexuality in the elderly. And who gets to decide, and the families are often horrified and trying to stop it, and think that things are being taken away from them. But in some ways, I guess I'm not as totally clear on what the word grace is. They're also given a gift.
Yeah, I think when Opera Philadelphia creating new stories, we have artists, and they're artists, but they're not doctors. And I'm glad you mentioned Dr. Jason Karlowicz at the UPenn Memory Center. And he was a resource to our artists to make sure that they were following a narrative in a way that was responsible.
Right.
But for them, not just focusing on the traumatic potential nature of Alzheimer's, but this question that I posed, and as something leaves, whether it be memory, can something also step in? And that was important to our artists.
I think absolutely. This is not about doctors. This is not about, molecules. Alzheimer's disease is about people. And this is really, and Lembit in his introduction says, the truism, when you've met one person with Alzheimer's, you've met one person. And they're just like us, just a little bit more so. And so, it really and like any chronic disease, cancer, diabetes, severe lung disease, people are sort of connected by springs in my mind. And then when the one person starts to vibrate differently, basically everybody starts to vibrate differently. And so, we have to understand that the social context of change in such a profound way.
Well, one more question for me, and I also want to communicate to everybody that's joining us. If a question comes to mind, we also want to hear that too. If you'd like to enter that into the chat, Tiana can field that. But to hear from you, I know this is a quick time. So Sky on Swings brings a fictional story to the stage, centered around a very real disease. What do you think it's important to keep in mind when taking in a story about Alzheimer's? Hollywood's attempted to do it. There's many different pieces of art that have attempted to bring attention to it. In a fictional space, what do you think is you might want to communicate about Alzheimer's and how it's portrayed?
Well, there's some mythos around it, and the pleasantly demented person. I mean, Martha is very, very well played, but she is anything but happy, right? And she's seemingly having auditory hallucinations. The people that keep arriving, and so it's they're not happy, and Danny's not happy either. In fact, I'm not sure about Ira and Winnie. That's not really the issue. But neither of these people are happy, but they find some happiness together, and which is very touching. And this can be a painful thing, but to recognize that this is life, and we have to be able to prepare for things of this sort and adapt. And it's not when I was a medical student, at Sloan Kettering, people who diagnosed with lung cancer said, should I stop smoking? This is a different mindset. This is a lifetime of mind. You have a lifetime of experiences, and how you adapt to a very powerful force, which is aging, is really actually something we can't, no one piece could possibly encapsulate everything.
Yeah, there is a real individuality to this, from person to person.
Absolutely.
That you referenced.
These two could not be more different, yet they share a lot and they grow together.
Yeah, and I think everybody that's joining us will catch on to those differences in how it's portrayed musically. How does the voice show different progressions? And Martha, again, Martha is a character who's in her 70s, and Danny is really kind of new to this. And so it'll be interesting what you pick up on musically. Um, Stepping away from the piece a minute, where is the field headed? And also, kind of a part B to that, anything you'd like to share about Case Western Reserve's um, progression as you are leading this field for the Case Western community? You know, how is the offerings there changed, and just an overall, where's the field headed?
Um, Again, as I mentioned, the field is really headed towards early intervention in many ways. Now, this is really interesting because I hadn't thought about it. You know, people in nursing homes are being somewhat left behind. You know, they're looked at. You know, the money, the interest, the diagnosis therapies are really being aimed for the people either pre-symptomatically as prevention and or in the early stages. So these people are alone in many ways. This is maybe one more way, and that we have to recognize that. One of the big things that the field is going towards is a blood test for Alzheimer's disease. You couldn't tell you had it. Well, now you'll be able to tell, and we'll be able to pick out those people who are seemingly at higher risk or are showing subtle signs. So I would say there's an enormous push in this direction. And there's also a huge need for more people. You know, if you go to the oncology meetings, there's 40,000 people. If you, you know, you go to the Alzheimer's meetings before virtual, you know, you got 3,000 or 5,000 people. So getting a workforce that's attuned to this is actually really important. So Case Western has a long history of leading in Alzheimer's disease research. Last year in 2019, we were one of 31 Alzheimer's disease research centers. We got funded, a collaboration between Case Western Reserve and Cleveland Clinic and University Hospitals and the Cleveland VA. And so we're coming up on our 1 year. We have 2 years of funding, so we're actually beginning to apply again to the National Institutes of Health. But this is a great honor to have one of these very prestigious centers like they have at University of Pennsylvania, which is rightly recognized. So this is a very exciting time for this kind of research in Cleveland. We're doing groundbreaking research on aging and genetics, looking at the Amish population with Jonathan Haynes in the Institute for Computational Biology. We were a big part of the SPRINT study, which is a hypertension study, whose cognitive feeling that lower blood pressure may lead to better outcomes in cognition over many years. We were one of the 4 hubs in the United States for the clinical networks to do this amazing 9,400 person study with I should mention 40% minorities. Okay, so it is doable to do in, you know, my realization that what I've learned. Diversity is not the cherry on top of the sundae. It has to be the sundae, and we have to recognize that you can't just sort of plop it in at the end. And so I've also gotten a grant through Case Western to open a clinic in the Fairfax neighborhood of Cleveland at Quincy and 87th Street, and that got knocked off the map by COVID too. So we have to get back to that. But we know that. So these are very, very important questions, and I think Case has really been a great leader and a great place to work in this.
I'm seeing some applause emojis into that statement. Tiana, did anything come into the comments?
Yes, so we have a question from Christopher Swing. He is a CWRU Law 91 alum. So he says, Dr. Lerner, why does early prevention matter if there's no cure? Is it because it provides a resource data set to help the next one?
It certainly would. This question comes up a lot, and it's not for lack of trying. And it's quite possible that we will see a new therapeutic approved by the Food and Drug Administration in 2020 or 2021, aducanumab. So the science is built up, but think about cancer treatment in the 1950s. And now about we have hundreds of drugs, HIV. What was a cardiac care unit in the 1950s? It was digitalis, no digitalis. And so I take a long-term view that we may actually be in the infancy of Alzheimer's disease research, and that, but we need to be able to identify. I think it's important to know that you have a condition. If the research is an ethical issue that comes up about, how do we disclose this kind of sensitive information to people? But life planning is a key part of this whole thing. As I talked about the guy with the smoking, life, you don't wait for retirement to plan for retirement. If you could recognize a condition early, and I recognize that not everybody would want to know, but there is obviously an important aspect to what I'm talking about.
Dr. Lerner, are there resources, books that help to make something so grand accessible? Books, or just, is there a resource online that you think that you want to direct people to learn more about this that maybe they don't know about?
I would think the Alzheimer's Association probably has,
Sure.
Like I say, it's been in art quite a bit regarding Alice, the Iris Murdoch story. There's been other choral pieces, so it's accessible through that. But if you want to just sort of learn the basics, I would think that the Alzheimer's Association, of which we have branches throughout the United States,
Sure.
Have centralized resources. There are research centers. The National Institute of Aging actually has a very good section on their website, and their news and information. This is, I think, very trustworthy as a scientist.
Anything else come through the chat, Tiana?
Not as of yet. If anyone has any questions, just feel free to drop them into a chat here for me, and I'll relay them to Stephen and Dr. Lerner.
When Opera Philadelphia presents ideas for new stories, we are very concerned about what can we add to the canon. We call it the operatic canon, that speaks to the human condition, something that is of today. Each year we present a new opera. So this was at least one new opera. This was our new opera of 2018. It was really strongly received in the Philadelphia community. Perhaps somebody is joining us that has seen it in Philadelphia. But I think this is a very human opera that you're going to see. The simplicity of the music, of the characters, support that as well. And I also will just say, I see we have another question that's come in, that if you would like to reach out to me about Opera Philadelphia, you may do that personally. And I think Tiana can connect you with that. But my name is Stephen Humes, and I'd love to continue the conversation. What a great opportunity to really hear from somebody that's put their life's work into this, is Dr. Lerner. So I see another question came in too. Maybe we have a chance for one more.
This is more so direct. This is a link directing to the Cleveland Alzheimer's Research Center, just
right
to go along with Dr.
Yeah, if you could send it out to the entire audience, that would be great. We have a Cleveland Alzheimer's Disease Research Center, and we have a website, and I think it would be so what's going on the local scene is also available, and so we in some ways are a gateway to the national scene.
We did have a comment from Wilma. She said, mental confusion from head trauma in the elderly seems very much like Alzheimer's.
Yes. In the brain, as a general rule, where it is more important than what it is. So if you had a stroke or a brain tumor that affected the same part of the brain, you'd have very similar symptoms. And since trauma can produce diffuse changes in the brain, just like Alzheimer's, it affects the same neural mechanisms underlying that. And so it can look very much similar.
And then one more question from Thomas. What is the basis of the blood test that you had mentioned earlier?
The basis of the blood tests are the two main proteins that deposit in the brain are called amyloid and tau. And we are able to now image them in the brain directly. You're also able to find them in the spinal fluid, and it actually turns out you can find them in the blood, and those may elevate early. So there's also something called neurofilament light, or NFL as we call it, and that often that one's non-specific, but amyloid and tau in the blood and plasma can be measured. And so there's an enormous race on for commercialization of this, but it has to be accurate and it has to be reproducible across hospitals, which is a big technical challenge that this field has faced.
And Dr. Lerner, I think to kind of wrap up this part of the program, as somebody that's seen the opera, speaking to those that have yet to dig into the story, just kind of final comments from you about what you've experienced about the piece, and just some closing statements from you.
Yeah, I've
often as a non-opera person. You said you were a
I'm not an opera person.
I grew up with lots of non-opera people, but I love opera.
There you go.
I have to. I perform it. But go ahead.
I've said, in another context, like in my clinical practice, I've said that the best part of my job is the people I meet, and you're about to meet some very, very interesting people, and that's the experience, is that meeting those people where they are, and not just sort of putting them in a box or shutting them out, but meeting them where they are, and that's what makes it so powerful.
Thank you, Dr. Lerner. Tiana, I'll hand it over to you, but I also say I hope that you're able to add in the subtitles, which are available on the stream. That's a great way to just help to enforce, to communicate while the singing is happening, exactly the text being communicated. That is available. But thank you all for joining. I feel like I'm a guest in your house. I need to get to Cleveland, and I hope you are all remain safe, and thank you for welcoming me to this.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Dr. Lerner. Yeah, you got some applause going on screen.
That's good. Good to hear.
I hope everyone was able to take away tons from what Dr. Lerner and Stephen shared about the piece, about Alzheimer's disease just as a disease. If you have any questions that come up, during the presentation, if you have any questions that, are like marinating in your mind, just feel free to drop them to me in chat or via email, and I will get them to Dr. Lerner and try to get you some answers. All right, so now I am going to switch over to the presentation of Sky on Swing.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.
so bad I couldn't find any. I'm scared I thought you were mine. The back door's open, I couldn't find any. I'm scared I thought you were mine. It makes no damn sense. Hush! 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 Changes only increase and dance because it's show. I wanted that. It's a rapid decliner, which includes bathing and toileting, which is a shutdown of all physical. It's my kitchen. Which makes fighting vile. Which makes fighting vile. Which makes fighting vile. Kitchen a bitch. Go on, back up now. Go on. Childlike, please back up, back up. What's happening? Which means the person I was. Which means the person I was. Which means the person I was. They're in here. Watch me. I don't think so. I've been sitting here, having breakfast with you for an hour. I don't think so. I've been here an hour, Mom. Well, you just go on saying that. I will, because it's true.
can't find.
Come on, Mom, let's go.
Where?
To spend a nice day as a family. Sir, your granddaughter, okay?
Where?
The mall.
Your dad doesn't like it
Let's
there,
go, Mom.
but your dad won't like it. Barry died. It was breakfast. He fell forward onto his plate. I called the ambulance. I was holding his hand. He struggled to breathe in the end, but not too much pain. In the hospital, he was pronounced dead of a heart attack.
Will you come with me now, Mom?
I need my coat.
No, you don't. It's hot out there. Mom? Why? Because I couldn't find where I parked my
It's
car.
parked on your street. You called me. You said, I can't find my car.
There's ice! There's ice on the driveway.
I drove over. Your car is parked in front of your house.
It's not true. It's down the street.
I could see from your house.
There are trees,
Mom.
trees blocking.
Mom.
Yes, there are.
Mom. I just saw it.
I didn't look in the street. I looked in the driveway. I looked where my car should be. And no car. I forgot about the ice. And I didn't look.
Please!
Ira, I'm fine.
Please! Please! Would you take the test? It's a simple test. Please. 2 minutes.
Good. Let's do a test. Good idea.
How many of these nouns can you remember? Horse, tractor, boat, moon, sofa, toothbrush, flower, face, coffee, table.
I used to boat
And
and car.
car.
Yes.
Any others? Horse, tractor, boat, moon, sofa, toothbrush, flower, face, coffee, table.
Table?
Any others?
Don't cry.
I'm sorry.
I am a capable. I am a fully capable. A fully.
I'm so sorry, Mom.
I don't understand. I don't. It doesn't.
I'm sorry.
And you knew. You thought I was losing my mind. You knew.
You're forgetting things, Mom.
But I follow the stock market. I publish papers. I'm good with my iPad. I play the piano. I remember all the names of my grandkids. I remember the names of my neighbor's dogs. I go to my stupid fucking doctor's appointments to make sure I stay healthy. And guess what? My blood pressure's perfect.
It's not fair. It's not fair, Mom.
Yeah. I forget things. I put salt in my tea, and I forgot the time of Janine's birthday party. And I know I wrote down juice instead of milk in a note to my... But I still remember the Latin I learned in high school. I remember Pop's shaving cream. I remember the smell of his face. I remember the way you looked when you were born, Ira. and my first house, and my first kiss. Mom. I do my best, but I had my daughter, I left my husband. Got Alzheimer's. Dad died. I do my best. My husband said, why? He said, please. He said, our daughters too. Can't remember. She misses Dad. But I watched her. She didn't love him. She wasn't happy. I watched. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know to be My husband said, why? He said, please. He said, our daughters too. My husband said, why? My husband said, why? My husband said, why? He said, please. He said, our daughters.
for the tour and for answering so many questions.
You're just so on top of this, aren't you?
I wanted to pick a place. Why, I still
Very brave.
No, I'm not. It's a nice facility, but
it isn't over. You have years ahead of you of meaningful life. I know it's hard to see right now.
I'm still able at this point to understand what's happening to me. And that's a crock of shit. In a year from now, I won't remember my son. He was pulled from my body, and I won't remember him. I won't remember my own face. I'll look in the mirror and have no idea who it is. This is happening to me. This is happening to me.
I know,
but I'm going to forget what a toilet's for and go in my pants. I'm not going to remember how to swallow my own spit. I won't understand the papers I wrote. I won't understand my own research. The person I am will go away. I had to give away my dog.
sorry. You're right. You have a right to be. She's researched so much about all of this.
Of course she has. She's a researcher.
Ira!
That was a job title.
Your facility is charming, and I can't wait to move in and lose my fucking mind and then die.
Danny, I will say it's harder on those who are independent, in control, and prize the quickness of their minds.
Where are you going? Mom!
Moving in.
Hopefully. Yeah. Turns out I have Alzheimer's.
I do too. What a disgusting thing. You get it out. Get it all out. You get your soul out. I can find it. It's in here. The back doors open, I couldn't find any. I'm scared. The back doors open, I couldn't find any. I thought you were my daughter. The back doors open, I couldn't find any. The back doors open, I couldn't find any. The back doors open, I couldn't find any. Where are the matches?
Are you okay down here? I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm locked door.
The back door's open, I couldn't find any. The back door's open, I couldn't find any. I'm scared, I thought you were my daughter. That makes no damn sense. You know what? I don't know why I'm scared.
Let's get you up. You're cold. Not you. You're warm. Warm and soft. Mhm. Soft like fur. You're still cold. Sink in. Where are your clothes? She's soft. Those eyes too. And a nice gray streak. You. I'm warm. You're warming me up. Wait now. That girl, I remember her, a summer friend, her skin so warm from the sun, and we lay on her porch, and the parlor
don't come in here.
What do you mean? We're going out.
No, my home. I don't recognize the damn matches. They're in the damn drawer, but I can't find them in the drawer. My damn brain is broken. Damn it. And my daughter's coming over and I can't find my clothes and I can't find my matches and the lights are out and I can't find the fuse box because I can't find the damn basement. And I want to stay in my home.
You're in the... No. It already happened. I'm going to take you to your house that you lived in for 27 years for a visit.
No.
Come on, Mom. It's okay.
No. I'm not going.
Mom, please. It's okay. Don't stop with that lady. You're hurting her.
No.
I don't mind.
No, you back up.
It's okay. It's okay. You're home. I'm walking down a hallway, and now I was walking, and now I came from, I was walking down a hallway, and now I'm, what am I looking at? What the hell am I looking at? Where's the fucking hole? I don't know where it is. This is
what do you call it? The common room. You recognize it now. Sparky! Just take a day off. I'm seeing my lady's crazy. You gonna cry again? You a big crier, huh? Oh, you can't find anything. Oh, shut up. I forgot my pants one time. Way down my street with my stuff hanging out and my coat on, shoes nicely tied.
fuck?
No, you cry. You go ahead. That girl, that summer friend, and Harlem in the air, and that dress that showed her knees, red lips like fruit. I was in love with this girl, or something like love. I was only 15 or so, and you wore those pink sandals and that dress that showed your knees. And I had my hands in your pockets. Those eyes.
Do you think I'm not?
Your house was gray and tall trees with white flowers.
think so.
Your house was great.
I don't know.
It was too.
I can't remember. We moved around.
We ran down the sidewalk and
we got It's Sparky, Sparky,
fiscal year 2019 bills through the floor. I want to thank, and I'm sure ranking member Lowy thanks both Chairman Calvert, the ranking, and their ranking, and Chairman Briggs, and his ranking for their work with their colleagues. These bills fund vital programs across the federal government, including those that make America safer, protect our nation's resources, and create jobs.
exam time.
Dinner hour.
Yeah.
You have someone here.
My mom.
She remember you.
Now and then. You?
For now. Do you?
What?
What do you think of this place? My mom seems to like it. Stefan, bad, but they're not. Food's pretty bad.
This place is fine. My mom's fine. Last little while she's been weirdly happy, which is probably just the disease.
Mine too. I mean, it's nice.
This disease.
Yeah.
Opioid abuse epidemic protects our financial institutions.
My aching, aching. The back door's open. I couldn't find any. I'm scared. I thought you were my. Oh, summer girl. Shut up!
I don't know where I am. I don't.
Soft like
I was
fur.
trying to find
Or
the
something.
I was.
Bodies or seal.
I'm gone, I think. I don't.
So much humor in your
my All right, everybody. I hope everyone enjoyed that performance. I know that it gave me a multitude of feels. Again, thank you for joining Case Western for this virtual event. It's going to be one of many that we hope to put on in the future that are available to all alumni across the world. I'll also make sure I go through the chat here, and if there are any questions or anyone who's looking to connect with Stephen or Dr. Lerner further, then I'll make sure that all of this information gets over to them. And I hope everyone remains safe and enjoys the rest of your weekend.